Hello YouTube. Today I'm gonna make bread in this small Dutch oven. So it will be a small bread. I'm going to show you how I do it. Okay, so first I'm going to weigh the bread mix to see how much water I need. I'm going for 250 grams. So this is about 250 grams of bread mix. This is pumpkin bread. I don't know if it really tastes like pumpkin, but it's good bread. With 250 grams of bread mix, I need 140 milliliters of water. Okay, so this is 140 milliliters. I make a small dent in the bread mix and pour about half of the water inside. I just start mixing this up and it becomes flaky. Okay, now I just add the rest of the water. And you might need a little bit less or a little bit more water. When you have too much water in it, you need to add a little bit of bread mix. And now I just start kneading this. Om met filmen. Okay, so I just kept doing this for about 5 minutes until you get this kind of consistency. This will be a small bread for 1 or 2 persons. Okay, and we'll just put it inside here and so just take a piece of cloth, wrap it around and just let it sit for about 30 minutes. Dutch oven, it's already oiled in from the last time, but I like to put a little bit of extra oil on the bottom so the bread doesn't stick to it. Alright. Okay, so we have to prepare the coals. They have to be hot when the bread goes in. These are crap. Alright, so coals are getting ready. To make this a bit quicker, I'm gonna use some air to get the coals going. Okay, so the coals are ready to go. It has been about 20 minutes. First we have to pre-warm the Dutch oven for the bread to rise further. So put one coal on the bottom, put the Dutch oven on top of the coal. And I put 2 coals on top. And I'll let them sit so the Dutch oven can warm. Alright, so it's been around 30 minutes and has risen a bit, and now it's time to knead it again. So we're just gonna knead it again. Just keep folding it and pushing it. It should feel more flexible now, like a sponge. Alright, so now it's ready to go into the Dutch oven. Right, so I like to put a small piece of baking paper inside the Dutch oven. You don't need to do that, but I do it. And now it needs to sit for 90 minutes. To rise further. Alright, so it has been about 2 hours, a little bit too long, but I don't think that will matter. As you can see, it has risen quite a bit. It's even already a little bit cooked. Now we're going to increase the amount of coals. It's important that you get more heat on the top and on the bottom. So we put a nice amount of coals on the top. And only a few underneath there. I think we need a bit more coals than this. So I will make a few new coals. Alright, so I made some other coals. Now it has to cook or bake for about 30 to 40 minutes. You can check, but do it very quickly, otherwise too much hot air will escape. And it's not a big problem to if the bottom is burned a little, you can just cut that off. And it's really important to have more heat from the top than from the bottom, so always put more coals on top than on bottom, otherwise your things will burn. It's an oven, so. And yeah, I really like this way of cooking. It takes a long time, but it's really satisfying. And there are you can find on the internet how much coals you have to use. I don't look at those graphs. I just take a random amount of coals which I think suits best, and put them on top and the bottom. The basic rule is you put 3 times as much coals on the top as you put on the bottom. So there are 3 times as many coals on the top as I have on the bottom. And now it's a waiting game. Alright, so it has been about 40 minutes. We'll see if it's good enough. It looks pretty good. Sounds good. Let's cut it to see if it's actually good. That looks good. Fresh in the wood baked bread. Very nice.